start this out by letting you know that there's a reason that I'm down here. I've been in this political business for almost 35 years now, and I've worked in over 200 campaigns, and I've run the majority of those. But at this point in my life, I want to be where the fights are. And there's a reason we called this conference Turn Texas Blue. It's, when I started talking to Judge Chris and to Lloyd Chris and to others here, one of the things that we realized is I know that when I grew up in Chicago, I live in Boston now, but I grew up in Chicago. Texas was a great democratic state. And then we had a tremendous Boston to Austin connection with, then Mays Johnson, and then, it went on and on. And then a funny thing happened. This state, turned, from a great blue state to a red state. And it's worth noting how that happened. There's a guy named Karl Rove, you may have heard of his name before. And years ago now, he took a look at the same office that Judge Chris was looking at. He said, we have some openings that we could get in as Republicans on the state Supreme Court. And if we got the state Supreme Court, we could turn things around for the money and interest here. And the money and interest would give to us forever and finance our campaigns. That's exactly what Karl Rove did. And when you read his book, it's going to publish soon, and it's what he's going to talk about. That's how he began, the takeover, of the Republican Party, in the state of Texas, was by taking the Supreme Court. So we thought that what we wanted to do is we want to be part of making history, to start right here in Galveston, Texas, to start, turning this, state back to blue and doing it on the Supreme Court with Judge Susan Chris. We need somebody, we need a Democrat on the Supreme Court bad, and I know that we're going to be calling on all of our good friends here, come primary time, to help us out, to email your friends, to let everybody know. But I just had to be a little paid advertisement. That's what I'm here, and that's what this is about. Is if you're going to win, the first thing you got to do is you got to believe you're going to win, and you got to be in the fight, and you got to be willing to be in the fight. Listen, we're going to go through a lot of material today, and I do a lot of these kind of presentations. But one of the things I want to try to make sure that we do is that we have time for you folks to ask questions. Because a lot of it, works better when you're asking questions. So be thinking about your questions and you write them down. And then if everybody could open up their hymnals. This is your hymnal. Because the section that we're going to talk about is message. And so if everybody can turn to the page that says the message pyramid, it has that graphic on. I think we're going to start there. Now, there's a couple of things that I'm going to emphasize here. And, I'm going to ask you this at the beginning and the end. And if you don't learn anything else today, learn this about campaigns. All campaigns are won by delivering the right message to the right people at the right time, the right amount of times. I don't care if you're running for dog catcher, county supervisor, or president of the United States. That's how campaigns are won. Right people, right message, right time, right amount of times. That's how campaigns are won. But there's one other thing that you can remember from this conference. I want you to remember this message pyramid. I think more campaigns are lost and many campaigns are won from not understanding what this is. And in the interest of full disclosure, let me let you know, I did not invent the message pyramid. This has been tested by survey research, focus groups, on and on for years and years and years and years. And every electorate in the United States breaks down exactly like this in a message pyramid. And so it's very important to understand this. I think we'll just kind of start here. First, understand that what this pyramid is this represents voters that are going to participate in any given election. This doesn't, include all the voters who are not going to vote. It doesn't include all the citizens. This is just people that are going to vote. On the top of the pyramid, you have 1%. Now, 1% are people like, Judge Chris and myself, and probably most people in this room. We're called political junkies. I'm a political consultant. I do this for a living. I think about politics almost all the time. There's on no elections in the United States, I don't think that I don't usually start out with my mind made up. I'm not in a big persuasive category. I am the top 1%. But it's only 1% electorate. So those are the deepest activists. They're elected officials themselves. They're people that are the consummate insiders that are in office and people that work for people in office and people that are, in my business. But you're in any district, that'll be less than 1% or less of the vote. And then you go down below that and you have the 9%, which is what we